Have you subscribed yet? If not, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Welcome back to Let's Get Cooking. I am your host, Rashida, and today I'm going to show you how to make a creme penne rustica. It's an Italian dish with loads of flavor and goodness. Grab your apron, come on in the kitchen, and let's get ready to cook. So for this dish, I am using chicken breast, some shrimp. I am using prosciutto. It's a fancy type of like bacon or ham. I'm using penne pasta specifically, some heavy cream, some chicken broth, some thyme, some rosemary, garlic, butter, a little bit of white wine, and some of those garlic seasonings, Italian seasonings, olive oil, and those are the main things that are going to go into this dish. I adapted this dish from the restaurant Macaroni Grill, and my favorite dish on the menu was the Penne Rustica. So there's no Macaroni Grill in my area any longer, so I decided to make it myself, and it really turned out good. No, actually it turned out great. All right, let's get ready to cook. I'm taking a half a stick of butter, melting that in the pan, and to this I am going to saute my 3 cloves of garlic. And you know I like to use fresh garlic, so I'm going to mince that and just saute that for about 2 minutes in the butter. Penne rustica is basically a Alfredo sauce just taken up a notch and then baked in the oven. It adds just awesome herbs and flavors, and then it's chocked full of meat. So I'm going to have chicken, I'm going to have my shrimp, and I'm going to have the prosciutto. So mixing this all together with the pasta, then baking it in the oven is what makes it a penne rustica. And it is so good. So good. So anyway, I'm finished up mincing my garlic into the butter, and that's about that 3 cloves, 3 to 4 cloves is good. I love garlic, so 4 cloves works also. And I'm just going to saute that. And I'm adding in my 3 tablespoons of white wine. They say it's best to use a drinking wine. I don't drink wine, but I found this nice Pinot. I believe it's a Pinot Grigio or something to that nature. The recipe called for Marsala. So if you don't have this and you have Marsala, 3 to 4 tablespoons will work. Okay, once my wine is added, I'm going to go ahead and just let that cook. So I have the garlic, the wine, the butter. That's going to cook for another 3 minutes till the wine begins to reduce. And then we get the flavors, those strong flavors that we want out of it. And if you don't have fresh garlic and you have garlic in a jar, that will work fine. I would say put in about 1 or 2 tablespoons. In the meantime, I'm multitasking, so I'm preparing my penne pasta. You want to bring your water to a boil, add in a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to use, I think it's best to use 3/4 of a box of pasta. I used the whole box, but that was too much, so I would reduce it down to 3/4 of a box of pasta. And you want that to cook. I'm going to let that cook for about 7 to 8 minutes, not too long. Do not like mushy pasta. You want your pasta al dente. So once I put my pasta in, I'm going to give that a good stir and let that cook. Now that's been cooking for about 7 minutes, and you see where it definitely has plumped up. So it's almost done. I'm going to drain it, and then I'm going to set it to the side. And that's how you want your pasta to look. And you can use any kind of pasta. I chose penne. Okay, and now it's time to move into full gear with the Parmesan and Alfredo sauce. So I'm adding in 2 teaspoons of minced rosemary, fresh herbs. I'm using rosemary and thyme, 2 teaspoons of each, and I'm going to go ahead and just stir that. And this is the butter, garlic, white wine mixture that has reduced. Adding in those fresh herbs. And to this, I'm also going to add in a 1/2 cup of chicken broth and a 1/2 cup of milk. And I just mix those together. And I'm going to pour the 1/2 cup of chicken broth, 1/2 cup of milk in. And let those flavors come together. Then after this, we're adding in one of those main ingredients, and that is 2 cups of Parmesan cheese. 2 cups of grated Parmesan. I like to use a good high quality Parmesan because it makes the difference. You get the real nutty flavors and taste out of a quality Parmesan. So that's 2 cups of cheese. And then I'm going to do 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, heavy cream. And if you don't have heavy cream, you can use half and half. Heavy cream is just a bit richer, and then to make the sauce a little bit thicker. And that's basically what Alfredo sauce consists of. It's butter, it's cream, it's the cheese. To this, I will also add in my seasonings. I'm doing a little garlic powder, salt and pepper, some Italian seasoning, a pinch of Cajun seasoning, and some paprika. Paprika or smoked paprika will work just fine. Now this is going to have to cook and reduce on a nice simmer for about 15 minutes. I'm going to just let my sauce, I'm stirring it, and then I'm just going to leave it alone and let it reduce until I get a gentle boil. So after that 15-20 minutes, here's the consistency that I wanted for my Alfredo sauce. It is perfect. It is not too thick. It's not too thin. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off while I start to cook my chicken and my shrimp on the hot griddle. That sauce looks perfect. This is a sauce that will be poured over the pasta and baked in the oven. I'm using 1.5 pounds of chicken breast and 1/2 pound of shrimp, but that can be divvied in any way. I could have just did 1/2 pound of chicken, 1 pound of chicken breast and 1 pound of shrimp. If you want more shrimp, you could just do shrimp. However you like to divvy it up, I just did a little bit more chicken than shrimp. And I'm going to go ahead and put some olive oil on those. I have my hot griddle, my cast iron griddle, and I'm going to just cook these on the griddle until they're done. I'm adding olive oil to both the shrimp and the chicken and some salt and pepper and garlic powder. Always flavor your meat. Here is my cast iron griddle. I put this on my stove. It is hot already. I sprayed it down with canola oil just to make sure nothing is sticking. Both the chicken, shrimp have a little bit of olive oil, and then cast irons, they'll stick quick. So you have to make sure they are nicely greased. And if you don't have a cast iron griddle, that's fine. You can definitely saute the chicken, your chicken shrimp in a pan or any type of griddle you may have. Just basically you just want to cook it, saute it the best way you can. While my chicken and shrimp is cooking, let's talk Italian restaurants. Let's talk just some of the main fares, the main ones that people visit. What is your favorite Italian restaurant? You have your Olive Garden. Have you been to Macaroni Grill? This is where this dish came from. There's Macaroni Grill, there's Carrabba's, so on and so forth. So what is your favorite Italian restaurant that you like to visit that makes your favorite Italian dishes? I like all three. I like Carrabba's, Olive Garden, um, Macaroni Grill. Let me know if there's any Macaroni Grills in your area. All right, there's my chicken. I've cooked it on both sides. It is basically done. Now that everything is prepared, it's time to assemble. This is a labor of love. It takes a little bit of little extra time, but it is so worth it. I am greasing my casserole dishes. I'm using a pie dish and I'm using a casserole dish. I'm making 2 batches. First, I'm going to go ahead and put some of the pasta in the dish. And like I said, I'm just breaking it up between two dishes. Now I've taken my prosciutto. I'm using 2 to 3 ounces of prosciutto, and I just cut that up finely. I'm going to add the chicken, the shrimp, and the prosciutto onto the pasta. And then I'm going to pour over the Alfredo sauce. Pour the Alfredo sauce on. And then I'm going to mix it in the dish. I'm going to mix it to everything is just mixed in there and well combined. So I put half the Alfredo sauce on one and half the sauce on the other, making sure I get every bit because we want it to be nice and creamy when it comes out the oven. And it just made the perfect amount of sauce. So you can also use one big casserole dish, 9 by 13, or a little bit bigger, and do the same in one dish. I just chose to use the 2 smaller dishes. And it worked to my favor because we were able to use one for the first night, and then we had leftovers and we brought out the other one for the next day. Makes more than enough. Actually, this dish will probably serve a good 6, easily 6 people, 6 to 8 people. So it is plentiful, it is rich. Invite your family and friends over. They will think that they just came out of a restaurant and it'll be your kitchen. It is that good. Now I'm topping this off. I put a little bit of Parmesan, about 3 to 4 tablespoons of Parmesan, and I added 2 to 3 teaspoons of paprika or smoked paprika to that Parmesan, and I'm sprinkling that on the top as a finish, as a garnish. We're topping it with that Parmesan paprika mixture. And then I'm just going to add a few little sweet peppers to the top. I had yellow and orange, didn't have any red. Would have preferred red, but I just used a couple little yellow and orange sweet peppers. Lastly, I'm going to pop it in a 500-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes, and voila! This is the finished dish. This is how it looks. It is so good. It probably tastes better than it looks. Grab a green vegetable, some broccoli, some green beans, put it on a side-to-side salad, and you have the perfect dish. Thanks for coming in the kitchen. Thanks for making this creamy penne rustica with me. I hope you try it. I hope you enjoy it. And once again, thanks for watching. Till the next video, have a blessed day and a blessed week. Take care.